The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction.
And it's arriving in much more lifelike packaging, as creepy as that may be.
But AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty.
Just chilling, ready to help.
The robots are coming for the jobs, and it is happening right now.
Your goal is to build an infinite amount of synthetic humans.
You're building a new species. And what will these robots do? They will replace the men and women working in our factories, warehouses, and in restaurants and in other areas.
What does the latest in advanced robot technology look like?
It is a humanoid robot. The company says could one day fight in the place of humans.
The next frontier of robotics is not mechanical, it's emotional.
A little sidekick that we can all have.
A roasted robot.
Hey Neil, can you take this cup to the sink for me?
Finally, a robot for dirtbags.
We've been building in the ability for it to be romantic with someone.
Entering 2026, the global push toward human-like robots feels like multiple revolutions happening at once. With hundreds of companies in the fray, the coming year is shaping up to be a defining test for humanoids. Depending on who you ask, they could usher in an age of abundance, a dystopian labor upheaval, or they could all come crashing down in a spectacular bubble. The following are the humanoids to watch out for while it all shakes out.
Hey Neo, can you make me some hot dogs?
Wait, where are you going with my dogs? Where are you going with my dog? No!
In Silicon Valley, LimX is preparing to start shipping its neo-humanoids for homes, which are priced at $20,000 to buy outright or $500 a month to rent. The startup's deployment plans have people sharply divided. LimX, which was founded in Norway in 2014 and is now headquartered in Palo Alto, plans to rely on off-site teleoperation as a backup for full autonomy for early adopters. While some tech enthusiasts view it as a major step toward Jetsons like living, others can't get on board with the human-in-the-loop-for-now strategy.
It's not a robot, it's some guy. So until these issues are fixed, I guess I'll have to just keep cracking my own walnuts. You know what, this is actually really hot. All right, fine. I apologize to the stupid drunk robot.
LimX says Neo could achieve total autonomy as early as 2027 with help from data collected during initial deployments. Unlike most of its peers, LimX has focused entirely on bringing its humanoid into households since it introduced its first Neo prototype in summer 2024. But that's starting to change. Mountain View-based Sunday Robotics plans to begin testing its wheeled humanoid named Memo in real homes in late 2026. Founded in 2024, the startup has raised $35 million to accelerate its development. It's positioning Memo as a 24/7 household assistant that can clean tables, handle delicate glassware, pick up trash, and take care of dishes. At 77 kilograms, or 170 pounds, Memo is more than twice the weight of Neo, which is 30 kilos or 77 pounds. However, Sunday says its robot's wheeled base makes it more stable than a biped like Neo. Sunday insists its robot doesn't rely on human operators. According to the startup, hundreds of so-called memory developers are training the mechanical maid by wearing custom skill capture gloves that record human motions. Building a single Memo robot by hand currently costs about $20,000, but the team expects that price to halve at production scales. Another newer startup, San Francisco-based Tangible Robots, is also taking a full-stack approach with its wheeled humanoid Eggie. Like Sunday, Tangible emphasizes real-world data for training its robot for tasks requiring human-level precision. In Reno, Nevada, Cartwheel Robotics is taking a radically different approach with its cartoonish humanoid Yogi, engineered specifically to be your friend. Its founder, Scott LaValle, is highly critical of the dominant direction the humanoid race is heading. He argues that most of today's humanoids are industrial-style machines that people find scary. This is coming from an OG BattleBots veteran who spent 7 years at Boston Dynamics and who says he helped convince Elon Musk that humanoids are the future. He also led Project Kiwi at Disney Imagineering, where he oversaw the development of this fully autonomous bipedal robot modeled after Baby Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy. According to Cartwheel, the Yogi humanoid has soft, medical-grade silicone skin for gentle interactions. Its large head, rounded eyes, and slightly chubby appearance, reminiscent of Casper the Friendly Ghost, are intended to make it seem more like a character than a machine. Cartwheel has opened a waitlist for early access for use cases in hospitality, healthcare, and research. In an interview with the Register, Cartwheel's founder said he turned down an offer to work at Silicon Valley's most watched humanoid startup, Figure, which is now valued at a staggering $39 billion. Launched in 2022, Figure is aggressively trying to infiltrate manufacturing, logistics, services, and households with its flagship robot, the Figure 3. Its second-generation humanoid, the Figure 2, recently ended an 11-month deployment at BMW Spartanburg factory in South Carolina, the German automaker's largest manufacturing facility by volume. According to Figure, an unspecified number of robots worked 10-hour shifts and handled over 90,000 sheet metal parts used to build tens of thousands of X3 cars. Under the leadership of founder Brett Adcock, who previously launched Archer Aviation, Figure is trying to secure additional funding after reporting more than $1 billion in a Series C round. It's executing on a massive data collection campaign, aiming to get at least 100,000 Figure humanoids into the real world by 2029. The year ahead could define Figure's future as it faces Western rivals carrying decades of robotics experience and institutional momentum. Oregon-based Agility Robotics recently reported that its flagship humanoid, Digit, surpassed 100,000 total moves in a commercial deployment at a GXO logistics facility in Georgia. The startup, which was spun out of Oregon State University in 2015, is scaling production at its Salem manufacturing plant, which is designed to build 10,000 humanoids per year. Boston Dynamics is working with its parent company, Hyundai, to get its world-famous humanoid Atlas ready for industrial work. The Massachusetts robotics leader is using the South Korean automaker's new plant in Georgia as a test bed. During a recent webinar, Atlas product lead Aya Durbin predicted that thousands of Atlas robots will be deployed by 2035, citing recent breakthroughs in reliability, control, and learning. Meanwhile, Google, which owned Boston Dynamics from 2013 to 2017, has recruited its former CTO as it makes its biggest push into robotics yet. Aaron Saunders is leading hardware development at Google's cutting-edge AI research arm, DeepMind, which is framing its Gemini model as the core intelligence layer for all things in the digital and physical realms. Its architecture has been extended into a suite called Gemini Robotics, which is designed to run on machines of any shape or size so they can perceive their surroundings, reason through what they see, and then act without extra training. According to Bloomberg, Google's parent company, Alphabet, led a recent $600 million Series B investment into Physical Intelligence, a San Francisco startup valued at $5.6 billion without a product. Launched in 2024, Physical Intelligence is developing foundational models for robots across form factors to perform complex, contact-rich tasks independently. The startup says its vision language action model has evolved to empower robots to learn on the job with reinforcement learning. Google has also strengthened its relationship with Austin-based Apptronik, which has been developing its flagship humanoid Apollo since at least 2016. The tech giant played a major role in driving Apptronik's funding surge in 2025, which exceeded $400 million. German automaker Mercedes-Benz is trialing Apollo humanoids at facilities in Berlin and Hungary. A newer firm making waves, San Francisco-based Foundation Labs, is aiming to manufacture 10,000 of its industrial humanoids in 2026. Foundation's flagship humanoid, the Phantom K1, is built on technology originally developed for ALLEX, an upper torso manipulation robot created by Boardwalk Robotics. Foundation acquired Florida-based Boardwalk in late 2024, inheriting defense-related projects for the U.S. Army, Navy, and the Pentagon's Small Business Innovation Research Program. They're notably eager to get their humanoids onto the battlefield, though that's likely a ways off.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Elon Musk is counting on Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot to deliver the growth needed to unlock his unprecedented pay package that could make him the world's first trillionaire. The EV maker initially planned to manufacture up to 10,000 Tesla bots in 2025, but that goal was pushed into 2026 to improve its design. Musk's goal is to scale into millions and establish Optimus as the default general-purpose labor platform for factory work, logistics, and eventually home use. He's targeting pricing in the $20,000 range once high-rate manufacturing is achieved. In China, the rising Tesla rival XPeng says it's on track to start mass-producing its humanoids that look straight out of Westworld in 2026. The Guangzhou-based EV maker is putting its flagship robot, Iron, front and center after captivating the world with its latest iteration that's equal parts host drone and Catwoman. In what could become a defining moment of this era, XPeng shared dramatic footage to counter conspiracy theories that the robot was actually some cosplayer. It shows engineers undressing the humanoid and cutting through its synthetic skin with scissors to reveal its inner mechanics. The most viral moment came when Iron walked on stage with its metallic lower leg exposed. Commercial plans are aggressive. XPeng plans to offer masculine and feminine variations, initially geared toward public-facing roles like customer service and sales. Launched in 2014, the auto manufacturer formally ventured into robotics in 2020 when it acquired the Shenzhen startup Robotics. It absorbed its founder, Zhao Tongyang, who led the company's humanoid program through early iterations before leaving in 2023 to start EngineAI. That startup is preparing to launch its highly anticipated heavyweight humanoid that's inspired by the iconic synthetic human from the Terminator series. Named the T-800, the robot stands 180 centimeters or 6'1" and weighs 85 kilos or 187 pounds in the upper range compared to most modern humanoids. Like Iron, the T-800 will be one of the first humanoids to use a solid-state battery, claimed to offer higher energy density and better safety compared to traditional lithium-ion packs. The T-800 is part of a trend in China toward building taller, stronger, full-sized humanoids. The Zhejiang Humanoid Robot Innovation Center, for example, recently introduced its NEURA-Robotics, which towers over rival humanoids at 180 centimeters or 5 feet 11 inches, but still boasts an unusually human-like walking gait. Engine is scaling production of its compact and full-sized humanoids and quadrupeds after securing nearly $140 million in funding earlier in 2025. The startup is one of a truly staggering number of humanoid robotics firms in Shenzhen, the booming tech hub often called the Silicon Valley of hardware. LimX Dynamics raised at least $70 million in 2025 to scale production of its agile bipeds, quadrupeds, and flagship humanoid Oli. Founded in 2022, LimX is selling the research-grade humanoid starting around $22,000. The robot, which stands 165 centimeters or 5 feet 5 inches, is shown here maintaining balance while stepping through a construction site with loose sand, protruding rocks, wobbly boards, and scattered debris. Dobot, which originated as a viral Kickstarter campaign in 2015 and evolved into a publicly traded industrial automation leader, has begun global deliveries of its humanoid named Adam. The robot, which is priced starting around $27,000, is available in 3 variants. Adam Max, a full-featured robot with 41 degrees of freedom for high-precision factory work and deep scientific research. Adam Trainer, a scaled-down version with 29 moving parts meant for universities and researchers to train new AI models and test concepts. And Adam D, an upper-half-only humanoid for data collection. Astribot, also known as Stardust Intelligence, has made major commercial strides with its wheeled S1 humanoid. It uses a tendon-like rope-driven actuation system that gives its arms smooth, human-like motion and enough strength to handle about 10 kilos or 22 pounds per arm while moving at speeds approaching 10 meters per second or 22 miles per hour. In partnership with Shanghai's LimX Robotics, Astribot aims to deploy more than 1,000 units in manufacturing and logistics centers within the next 2 years. Leju Robot just launched the 5th iteration of its flagship humanoid Quavo, which can now switch between bipedal and wheeled locomotion. Spun out of the Harbin Institute of Technology in 2016, Leju is pushing the full-size humanoid into China's industrial workforce after securing more than $200 million in pre-IPO funding. The fast-rising startup Spirit AI plans to begin batch commercial delivery of its Moz one-wheeled humanoid in 2026 after raising more than $80 million in seed funding. The company, launched in February 2024, built the Moz 1 for long sequence tasks. Other significant players include WiRobotics, which is commercializing its wheeled and bipedal humanoids after shipping more than 100,000 of its service robots. LimX Robotics, which started the year with $28 million in angel funding to develop a full-stack humanoid platform. And Digit, which is commercializing its hyper-realistic walking humanoid named Xia Lan. The Shenzhen company that's shipping the most units appears to be UBTECH Robotics, which was launched in 2012 and became the first publicly listed Chinese humanoid robotics company in December 2023 when it entered the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. UBTECH says it's already delivered hundreds of units to industrial sites across the mainland, describing it as the world's first true mass delivery of humanoid workers. Meanwhile, a German company with Shenzhen roots, NEURA Robotics, is accelerating the wide-scale deployment of its flagship humanoid robot, called For Anyone, mainly through partnerships and corporate expansion. Entrepreneur David Rieger launched the robotics firm as Hans Robot, under the Chinese industrial automation giant Hans Laser Technology in 2017, after failing to secure funding in Deutschland. The company moved operations to Menzingen and rebranded as NEURA in 2020. They've been developing the For Anyone humanoid since at least 2022. NEURA has a new formidable German competitor.
I am Agile One. How can I assist you today?
Munich-based Agile Robots, which was spun out of the German Aerospace Center's Institute of Robotics and Mechatronics in 2018, recently introduced its first humanoid, the Agile One. The company reports having delivered more than 10,000 automation solutions worldwide, with a workforce that's grown past 2,300 people. According to Agile, the robot boasts multimodal perception, superhuman vision, and an expressive interaction system for navigating autonomously and working safely alongside people. European firms developing humanoids are especially focused on industrial use cases. The Swedish industrial automation stalwart Hexagon introduced its wheeled humanoid Eon in June 2025. The company says it's already begun pilot deployments with partners like Schaeffler and Pilatus for production line support, dimensional inspections, and facility mapping. A commercial rollout is expected to accelerate in early 2026. In Paris, the exoskeleton startup Wondercraft has expanded into humanoid development. Founded in 2012, the company is working with Renault Group on the headless biped named Calvin 40 after the French auto manufacturer made a minority investment as part of its $75 million Series D funding round. Engineers developed the robot in just 40 days. It shares foundational tech that's used in Wondercraft's autonomous exoskeletons like real-time algorithms, motorized joints, and gait planning. Another French firm, Pollen Robotics, was acquired by Hugging Face to bring its open-source humanoid platform, Reachy, into one of the world's largest artificial intelligence ecosystems. The latest iteration of the research-grade robot, the Reachy 2, is priced starting around $70,000. A desktop version, Reachy Mini, is available starting at $300. In the UK, the boldly and aptly named startup Humanoid recently revealed what it calls the first British humanoid robot built specifically for industrial use cases, the Humanoid 1. The dual-armed wheeled mobile manipulator has a reported payload capacity of 15 kilos, or 33 pounds, and moves at speeds up to 7.2 kilometers, or almost 4.5 miles per hour. Humanoid plans to offer its machines through a robots-as-a-service model so industrial clients can deploy them without upfront cost barriers. Founded in 2024 in London, Humanoid claims it built its first-generation alpha robot in just 7 months. While the startup calls it the fastest developed humanoid robot in history, Vietnam's VinMotion has grounds to challenge that. Vingroup, the Socialist Republic's largest private conglomerate, established the robotics division in early 2025 with about $39 million in charter capital. By June, just 3 months after its formation, VinMotion debuted its first bipedal humanoid robot known as Motion One. The company says it's designed to fit into existing workflows, starting with light-duty industrial jobs like material transport, visual inspections, and basic assembly support on factory floors. South Korea is also shifting into high gear on humanoids with an emphasis on industrial applications. In April 2025, the government helped launch the K-Humanoid Alliance, a coalition of major companies, universities, and robotics firms to build a full-stack domestic humanoid ecosystem. The rising Korean startup WiRobotics, launched by Samsung engineers back in 2021, generated buzz over the summer when it introduced its first humanoid, ALLEX. The company initially focused on exoskeleton and wearable robotics to help workers, senior citizens, and rehab patients reduce strain and improve mobility. According to the startup, its ALLEX humanoid is built as a modular platform, so different parts like arms and hands can be swapped out or purchased separately. For now, ALLEX lacks legs or a mobility platform, so its focus is on dexterous manipulation. Its 5-fingered hands boast 15 degrees of freedom and can pick up on touch or pressure without tactile sensors. In Taiwan, the leading cobot manufacturer Techman Robot is training its first humanoid, the TM Explore 1, to automate the last bits of work needing human-level precision and adaptability. The wheeled humanoid inherits Techman's vision systems and precision control from its collaborative machines that are particularly popular in electronics manufacturing. In India, MUX Robotics is aggressively advancing its lineup of space humanoids to cover a wide spectrum of use cases across industry, service, and hospitality, and eventually long-term space missions. The company, launched in 2021, says its in-house framework called Fusion Max empowers its robots to see, speak, plan, learn, and act autonomously. Israel is also getting in on humanoids, with Menti Robotics leading the way as it prepares to scale production of its third-generation humanoid called MentiBot. The startup, founded in 2022, recently shared an uncut 18-minute video with 2 of its humanoids working together as autonomous warehouse workers. According to Menti, the robots lifted 32 boxes from 8 uneven piles and distributed them across 4 flow racks. 2 human coworkers could easily do that in half the time, but Menti says its artificial intelligence will close the gap. Despite the show of optimism, everyone developing industrial humanoids today faces an uphill challenge going up against China, which has the fastest-moving humanoid ecosystem on the planet. The People's Republic has easily surpassed its 2025 goal of manufacturing 10,000 humanoids before year's end. Among companies that claim they've begun mass production is Shanghai's Kepler Robotics. The startup says it's secured thousands of orders for its flagship humanoid, the K2, nicknamed Bumblebee for its resemblance to the Transformer. Standing 178 centimeters or 5 feet 8 inches, the K2 boasts up to 52 degrees of freedom. Its hands each have 12 moving joints and can lift up to 15 kilos or 33 pounds. Its fingertips have 96 tactile sensors for precise gripping and pressure control. Kepler says its robots began real-world testing at the SAIC GM automotive plant in Shanghai in April 2025 for roles like inspection and assembly support. Another Shanghai startup, Astribot, entered 2025 boasting it had already built more than 900 humanoids and has been scaling output since. Founded in February 2023, Astribot started large-scale commercial sales of its robots on JD.com in August 2025 with prices starting around $14,000. Its flagship humanoid, the A2, recently entered the Guinness World Records for the longest journey ever walked by a humanoid robot. The distinction puts the robot in a short list of record holders, like Toyota's Q6 with the farthest basketball shot. and Pepper by SoftBank as the first mass-produced service humanoid. The Astribot humanoid began the 4-day expedition at Jinji Lake in Suzhou and ended in Shanghai's Bund waterfront. The total distance was 106 kilometers or 65 miles, spanning highways, sidewalks, bridges, and tactile paving through day and night. The A2 humanoid's pricing starts around 27 grand. Another robotics firm founded in 2023, Beijing-based Galbot, has begun rolling out its wheeled G1 dual-arm humanoids across unmanned retail and pharmacy-style convenience stores. The startup says the robot can cover an entire 50-square-meter store, handling inventory, picking, packaging, and on-site customer interaction. Galbot says it's using more than $150 million in funding secured in 2025 to scale to more than 100 automated locations by year's end. The use case mirrors what 7-Eleven Japan is aiming for in its collaboration with the Tokyo startup Telexistence. The convenience store chain says they're developing a humanoid robot named Astra for stocking, cleaning, and customer interaction. Telexistence is building a massive retail work data set to fuel the vision language action model powering the humanoid. In Beijing, Robot Era has reported shipping more than 200 units with total commercial orders exceeding $70 million. Its flagship bipedal humanoid is the L7, which is designed for complex and scripted tasks like sorting objects on a conveyor belt, using power tools for assembly, and lifting and carrying up to 20 kilos or 44 pounds. Its reported running speed reaches 14.4 kilometers, or 9 miles per hour, which on paper surpasses the capabilities of Beijing's Tiangong, known for winning the world's first ever humanoid robot half marathon in April 2025. Robot Era, launched in August 2023, also sells a wheeled humanoid called the Q5 for customer-facing roles in retail, hospitality, and tourism. It features 44 degrees of freedom and a slim design to easily get around public spaces, interact with the general public, and perform light manipulation tasks. Both the L7 and Q5 run on Robot Era's proprietary Era 42 vision language action model and integrate with its lightweight X-hand and effector. Robot Era hasn't publicly revealed pricing, but third-party listings suggest the wheeled Q5 starts around $60,000, while the L7 is closer to 100 grand. Another Chinese firm entering its mass production era is Fourier, which was thrust into the national spotlight in late 2023 after President Xi Jinping visited its Shanghai HQ. Fourier's latest full-sized humanoid is the GR-3, which is a major departure from its previous entries. The robot has a soft, friendly, and non-threatening aesthetic, with its rounded edges and warm beige tones. It's meant for places like hospitals and care centers where people might need social companionship, emotional support, or caregiver-style assistance. Robots like the GR-3 are seen as a solution to care-focused labor shortages in countries with rapidly aging populations like China as well as Australia, where Andromeda Robotics is scaling production of its compact humanoid Abi. The startup is led by Grace Brown, who began developing Abi as a personal project to cope with loneliness during COVID-19 lockdowns while studying mechatronics engineering at the University of Melbourne. Andromeda is now valued at $100 million after securing more than $23 million in funding in 2025. Standing 120 centimeters, or about 4 feet, Abi's cartoon-like appearance is inspired by Disney characters like Baymax from Big Hero 6. The colorful, lightweight wheeled robot is built from 3D printed parts. Abi can recall past interactions from days or even months prior and adapt its personality to different residents. According to Andromeda, each Abi unit costs around 10 grand to build, and customer pricing is based on the number of robots and support services needed. Another character-based humanoid, Miroka from Enchanted Tools, is expected to multiply in numbers throughout 2026 as the Parisian startup moves from limited pilots to commercial rollout across Europe and Japan. In Germany, the startup Devanthro is focusing on teleoperated robotic avatars that can provide assistive living and companionship in real homes today rather than waiting for general-purpose autonomy. Founded in 2018, the Garching-based firm has tested its wheeled robotic humanoid in more than a dozen care locations with hundreds of elderly residents. Roboties have soft skin for safe home use and can be customized to match a household style. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, Robotics is working toward humanoids for social companionship that are barely distinguishable from real people. The company originated as a spin-off from the Southern California company Abyss Creations, which is known for its ultra-realistic life-size silicon dolls, including Bianca from the 2007 indie comedy Lars and The Real Girl. Robotics sells its hyper-realistic robots for prices ranging from $20,000 for a bust to more than $125,000 for a full-bodied variant. Its robots are large language model agnostic, integrating with ChatGPT, Meta's Llama, Google Gemini, DeepSeek, and others. In September 2025, the company's flagship robot Aria was a star attraction during tomorrow's futuristic tech retail emporium in New York City's Times Square. And then there's Clone Robotics, which is working toward full-bodied muscular realism. The startup, which operates out of the US and Poland, shared this video of its upgraded hand with 27 degrees of freedom as it works toward a full walking version of its synthetic human called the Proto-Clone. Meanwhile in China, Hangzhou-based Unitree Robotics is preparing for another blockbuster year as it rolls out its next-generation full-sized and compact humanoids worldwide. Founded in 2016 by hardware engineer Wang Xingxing, Unitree disrupted the emerging humanoid market in 2024 when it introduced its short humanoid, the G1, to the world with a then shockingly low price tag of $16,000. The runaway success of the G1 made way for a surge of compact humanoids from companies like Wuxi-based Magic Lab, whose Z1 robot is shown here dodging a flying arrow. Unitree is pushing toward an initial public offering on Shanghai's tech-heavy star market with a valuation of $7 billion. The robotics firm expects its new compact robot, the R1, to be the top-selling humanoid of 2026 with its $5,900 price tag. However, several competitors in China are challenging that assumption. The rising Beijing startup Booster Robotics, whose humanoids can be seen in autonomous football matches and underground fight clubs, is making waves with its new K1 humanoid that's priced just under $6,000. The K1 stands 95 centimeters, or 3'1", roughly 20 centimeters shorter than Booster's flagship, the T1. According to Booster, what really sets the K1 apart is the ability to customize it and test experimental use cases, while entry variants from companies like Unitree and Engine are mostly limited to remote control operation. Proving how fast things are moving, the K1's bargain bin pricing was immediately undercut by a rival that's mass-producing humanoids next door. NOETIX Robotics is marketing its consumer-grade humanoid, Bumi, priced starting at $1,400, more as a STEM learning companion than an open developer robot like the K1. Unitree's new full-size humanoid, the H2, features a slimmed-down and refined design compared to the firm's original humanoid, the H1, introduced in August 2023. Standing about 180 centimeters, or 5 feet 9 inches, the H2 weighs about 70 kilos or 154 pounds and boasts 31 degrees of freedom. The H2, whose pricing starts just under $30,000, operates for about 3 hours per battery charge and uses a local air cooling system to maintain motor and controller temps. During the robot's launch, much of the public's reaction focused on its face design, which Unitree says is based on research indicating the general public prefers more human-like facial features. The H2 could potentially serve as a platform for giving the growing wave of hyper-realistic Chinese humanoids lifelike bipedal locomotion. Combining lifelike expressivity and human-like walking has long been one of the steepest hurdles in robotics because they rely on opposite engineering priorities. Synchronizing the two systems without mechanical noise, vibrations, or latency breaking the illusion of life is technically complex to say the least. That's starting to change thanks to lighter motors, smarter motion control, and more accurate sensors. Research-grade configurations of Unitree's G1 are already being used to give hyper-realistic creations legs. The fray-based NEURA Robotics, which is commercializing its android busts that bear a striking resemblance to a mecha by Engineered Arts, created Annie, a pink-haired humanoid pop singer that combines lifelike feminine aesthetics with Unitree's compact robot body. The startup released a cinematic music video in which the robot mimics the Mandarin pop ballad Bubble by the Hong Kong vocalist Gem. NEURA's engineered mounted Annie's bionic head onto the G1, which stands 127 centimeters or just over 4 feet, about the size of the original Megan. They likely developed a custom neck mount to link the robot's skull to the Unitree hardware's power and data systems, and software to coordinate the body's movement with the head's speech, eyes, and microfacial movements. For a comprehensive look at China's new breed of lifelike humanoids, check the related video.